Here's some things we want to talk about, far as your journey, basically. You know, 2012, your first professional fight. You fighting on a local promoter who's had experience doing it. Keystone Boxing had experience doing it, and they giving you opportunities to fight as long as they can. Had the opportunity to do it, because promoters know when they can stop, and so they gave you the opportunity to be on their cards and everything, and you took advantage of it. And what was the process of you guys doing that?
It was crazy because in the amateurs, before I went professional, I always felt like I had a professional style.
I agree with that. I said that. I said that already. I've always said that.
Because back when I was fighting amateur, it was on a point system. You had to throw a lot of punches to score a lot of points. And with me, I used to take my time like I was a professional. So we was trying to transfer that over to the pros, and it was kind of hard for me to get on the card because I didn't have a big amateur career. They didn't know if I could sell tickets. They didn't really know who I was. And, some guys did, but they just, far as selling tickets and having a fan base, they didn't think I really had that. So, it's hard to get me on the card. But, shout out to Keystone, because they was the first one to officially, give me a chance to put me on.
And it was all Keystone cards before you moved up, right?
Yeah, it was all Keystone after that. So,
and that's not taking anything away from none of the other promoters out here. It's just, he just happened to be fighting on the Keystone card. Exactly. That's all that. It's nothing about comparing promotions or anything that. So, don't take nothing personal.
And they put me on the card there. I think I sold, besides Dusty, I sold the most tickets. And Dusty hit me up. It's funny, he hit me up here and say, "Man, Jerry, you taking something on my ticket sales, man?" And they was crazy, man. Not only did I sell tickets, I put on the show that they was looking for. So they kept calling me back.
Yeah, and that's the key right there. I always say that, and people might get tired of me saying it, but it's not always about being undefeated.
Right.
At a certain level, but it's about the quality of competition. And that's what I want to ask you right there. What's the difference between being undefeated at a club level at a certain fight before you turn the corner, and being undefeated when you turn that corner and start moving up?
Right. Well, the most important thing about that is the level of competition you fight. Being an undefeated guy, 20-0 at a local level, you fighting not top competition. And I feel like when you build up those guys' records like that, I don't feel like they learn anything because they're not being tested, and you don't really learn anything going to a fight, just going there knocking a guy out or stopping them and pad your record like that. So I feel like the level of competition on a higher level is teaching you things when you get into those fights. So I mean, the main thing for me is the level of competition, and it's a big difference. You don't have to go straight to those tough fights on top level competition, but take it slowly and step it up. But test yourself, see where you at, and if you get to a point where the competition getting a little tough, and you want to have a point where you can work on things and sit there for a while working on things. But I don't think you should keep going to those fights and fighting those them club guys and paying your record like that. You're not learning enough.
And to add to that, not even fighting a guy. No, not how can I say this? Not even fighting a guy on a local level, the same that's been fighting same as you level of competition, and he might be undefeated also, or he might have a good record, but it's just on a club level, a good record on a club level. Even graduate and fight on the next level with some guys that been in with some experienced fighters at a certain level that probably can bring something to the table that you haven't seen before. Because your next guy on the next level could be 11-7 or something like that. But his level of competition has been better than the level of competition that you fought on the club level.
Right, and he can be a guy that's a good quality opponent for 8 solid rounds. The other guys eventually, they'd be all right in the beginning, then you eventually start wearing them down skill-wise. But this can be a tough veteran that got tricks that you never know. Been in there with some other guys, learn some things from them, and they can come show you some things. So all that plays a part when it's time to fight on that championship level. Yeah,
and it's, to me, it's definitely a difference between undefeated championship fighter and undefeated club level fighter.
Exactly.
And that's the difference. The biggest difference, I continue to say like a recorder, It's always the level of competition, you know, and it's about learning as you go.
Right.
You know, and it's about taking the right fights at the right time.
Right.
That way we can get the guys like Jarrett, Hurd, yourself, you know, to fight at a certain level where you get recognized because of the competition that you faced in the past. You know, and sometimes people can build their records, and yeah, sometimes they might get an opportunity where they can get a big money fight just because of their record, you know, but it might be where their career might be stopped because, you know, they got to the point where, okay, I leaped over everything and I went straight to the top and I learned anything. Now I'm worth nothing now.
Exactly. They took it too fast instead of, you know, going through taking the necessary steps with opponents.
Yeah, and one thing I can say about this is definitely myself and Gary, you know, Digital Williams, we always say is definitely different blueprints to build a fighter and everything. There's no one way to do it. Right. And it's a whole lot of things you can do with this sport, boxing. You know, you can come in to make money. You can come in and just to be popular as a fighter locally and just have your local fans to watch you fight on a local level all the time.
Right.
The key thing to me as I cover fights, if that's what you want to do, don't tell me you want to be a world champion. If you just want to be a club fighter.
Right.
That way I know how to cover you when I do see you. I cover you like a club fighter.
Right, yeah.
You know, I won't put you out there and say, oh, he's going to be the next best thing. Right. I can see him being fighting for a title fight when that's not his plan or her plan. Right. You know, so that's my key to asking you that particular question for that particular reason. You know, the difference between fighting being undefeated locally and being undefeated at a world championship level, basically. Right. You know, because it takes a lot to actually blend with this sport. You know, like I said, if you want to be a world champion, you got to put in the work, and you got to train hard, and there's a certain way you got to do it.
Right. You
know, and that's how it's got to be done. So appreciate your time, man.
Most definitely, man.
And looking forward to you October 14th.
October 14th, Barclays Center.
Yep.